Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! That is by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch. Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, January 16th. We are back for another episode. If you are listening on Spotify, congratulations on getting video. That's a big win for all of our Spotify listeners. You can now watch just like you guys are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you're listening on or watching on. Spotify can do that now. So I hate to sound like an ad for Spotify, but I'm sorry. I just think it's infinitely better than iTunes and Apple Music. So
there you go.
That's my. That's my.
I agree with you.
They pay.
Boom. And until one of those wants to sponsor us, and then we could change our mind.
Spotify. I need to put that out. That was a free ad. I know we say no free ads, but everyone's home. I'm gonna keep it light because the hurt from yesterday is still lingering around. We are going to talk about that Kentucky game as well as preview Vanderbilt this coming week. We're also going to talk some football news as a hire that's going to affect Tennessee's personnel, I guess is the best way to say that. To discuss some of that as well as some portal news on top. If you got questions, drop them in the chat. We're ready to get going on this Sunday night. Let's jump right into the terrible trip north. We knew Kentucky was a good basketball team. You knew you were going to be outmatched. It just was very disappointing the way it went down.
Yeah, I think the most disappointing thing is you shot the ball well, and then your defense didn't show up. The thing that's been consistent all year long just didn't show up. And maybe not as much as it probably seems when you look at the score, but Kentucky couldn't miss.
No, and I mean, there's definitely got to be some of that on the defense, right? I mean, you can't just say, oh, defense played good, they shot lights out. But I think it was just a mixture of both. Like you said, they just shot really well. I think Tennessee played okay defensively, but Kentucky's shots were falling. And when a team shoots 80% in the first half, I mean, that's an easy recipe for winning the ball game.
Yeah, I think Tata Washington and Severe Wheeler just bullied Vescovy and Kenny Chandler and Zakai Ziegler on the defensive end. I think they're bigger. They just kind of blew by them at times. And then it helped. It didn't help that they just didn't flat out miss.
No.
Tata Washington was 10 for 13, and Severe Wheeler was 8 for 10 from the floor. So,
dude, their speed is so impressive. Talk about getting out in transition. Those two guys can about get into transition after a made basket. They're so fast.
Yeah,
I mean, it's impressive. Yeah, it's impressive. I hate to sound like I'm kind of drooling over Kentucky, but I mean, is that the best Kentucky team in, I don't know, a long time?
Yeah, since Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, probably
6 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, I would have lost a lot of money because I would have bet that no team would ever score 100 points on this Tennessee defense.
No, I wouldn't have guessed it either. And Joe, I was going to make fun of myself again for stupidity, but to be fair to this, I need to explain. Joe asked our score predictions on Saturday just in a text. I'd said 69-63. I just thought I wanted Tennessee to win the game very, very badly. And I thought if Tennessee did that, they had to hold them to that mark. I didn't think Tennessee could score. Tennessee wasn't going to score 100 points. I didn't think Tennessee would be able to score 79. So I guess I was just kind of hoping that Tennessee could somehow do that. So that was not the way, like you said, when a team shoots that good, though, Tennessee could have played better. But when Tennessee shoots that good, or a team shoots that,
period.
Yeah. Yeah, like could miss. And then Tennessee, again, we key on that word consistency, and Tennessee did not get that out of their bigs. John Fulgerson, Olivier Camwall, 6 points, 0 rebounds in 36 minutes between the two of them. I mean, you're just not going to win. You're not going to win games with that kind of production. And Sheboy just didn't eat them up. I mean, he did have 12 rebounds, but he's averaging 15, and he's averaging 7 points. He only had 9. So it's not like they just got bullied by him. And
he only had a handful of opportunities to get offensive rebounds. So
right, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And maybe that took into account we couldn't get defensive rebounds because it was going through the bottom of the net each time. But yeah, I mean that. It's just inexcusable. I mean, Brandon Hundley-Hatfield was able to go in 10 minutes and score 11 points and have 3 rebounds and an assist. I mean, I don't care if he's not practicing well. It's time to move on if you're not going to get anything else from those 2 starters.
Well, and you may find out. I mean, I just think it's time to – I'm not even ready to say move on, but it's time to find out if – it is time to move on. It's fine. It's time you start getting some other guys on the court. Brandon Hundley-Hatfield, for example.
I mean, Urosh, I thought, played better than both of those guys.
They just got. I mean, all of them did though. It's not exclusive to Urosh. They just got dominated on the boards. I mean, we knew the gap was big. The gap looked so wide.
Yeah,
against Kentucky, they just got physically outmatched.
I mean, I'm just asking to get a rebound. Those 2 couldn't even get one.
Right.
And John Fulgerson, for him to be in this program for 6 years, to have 0 points in a game. And you've shown, it's not like this whole season, you've shown against number 6 Arizona, who had some size on you too.
Well, and we just know we want to
produce.
Yeah, and we want Fulgerson to be the consistent guy, but unfortunately he just hasn't in his career. So, I mean, and it's not going to happen halfway through his last year. So we just have to hope that he has big games against the big teams. He didn't against Kentucky. He didn't against LSU. He didn't against Alabama, or he didn't play against Alabama. Yeah. So it's like, well, that's half of our big games right there, and you're not going to get it out of him. Not that he's not going to contribute to those teams. I think he will, but you got to find someone else to spell time for him and Kumwa.
Yeah, and the Big 4 in the SEC. I mean, you're 0-3 right now against them, and then Auburn looks like the best out of the bunch, and you could be 0-4 against those teams.
Yeah, Auburn looks good.
I mean, you're going to see some of those. I know all these have been road games. That's difficult. You'll see some of these guys back at home, but
I don't want to play Kentucky again.
I don't either. I mean, it's just we're boring on offense, but we shot well, and we couldn't put it all together.
No, and it's it was a poor performance from Tennessee on the defensive end, and
we did have 20 turnovers.
Maybe I just don't know how truly bad Vanderbilt is, but it's like if you let a team shoot like that against you, which, I mean, I know not every team's good enough to do it, you're going to lose a lot of games in the SEC.
Yep.
Not many teams are going to lose shooting 70% from the field.
Yeah, not many teams are going to be able to shoot 68% from the field.
No.
And then Kentucky only missed 1 free throw. I mean, good God, they literally couldn't miss anything.
No.
We didn't make it very difficult on them at times, but good God.
Yeah. It was
I mean, that was the best Kentucky's played all year long.
It was, and they've looked, not that they haven't looked good this year, because they have prior to this, But that's definitely, I mean, I feel like that was, I think even Jay Billis, you said he was on the call. I don't remember who else it was. They were like, after this game, I think you've got to, because they were like, hey, who's the best out of that bunch? Which, I mean, I think Auburn's still right there. They might be better than Kentucky, but
they did lose
Kentucky
to Arkansas.
Yeah. Kentucky
No,
did
LSU lost to Arkansas. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't Auburn. But it certainly looked like Kentucky is going to be in the running there with Auburn.
Yeah.
So they clash in a week. But, yeah, it's Saturday they play. But it'd be a good matchup. But, I mean, Kentucky just right now looks like the favorite. They've beaten LSU. They've beaten Alabama. Tennessee we thought was going to be in that mix, but it doesn't look like it. And they manhandled Tennessee.
Yep. I think the most frustrating part when you're looking at Kumar and Fulgerson is they had 6 points combined. They also had 6 turnovers combined. They're not even the primary. They don't even dribble the ball very often. Like, how are you turning it over just as much as Kenny Chandler and Vescovy in a shorter amount of minutes played?
Right.
It makes no sense. I mean, they just looked terrible. Looked absolutely terrible.
Well,
I mean, they looked dead. They didn't. I mean, not getting a rebound that's effort.
It's a lot of
6'10". I mean, Sheboy, it's not like he's 7'5". He's 6'9".
Yeah.
So and he's bullied everybody. So I mean, but to not get a single rebound is pretty damn ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Well, then you get, Tennessee did a good job in the first half of Sheboy and Wheeler on the bench in foul trouble early on, and can't capitalize when other guys are in the game. It's like it was bad. You're like, that's a good thing. Tennessee was taking it to them and putting them in tough situations and making them foul, and then nothing beyond that.
Yeah, when are we going to be able to get a transfer that's worth a crap? I mean, Kentucky, that's all they're doing. They're sprinkling in these 5-star freshmen with guys that they get out of the transfer portal. Severe Wheeler. I don't remember who. Sheboy is one.
I was going to say, wasn't Sheboy from West Virginia?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're
arguably their 2 best players.
Yeah.
Are transfers.
That's how Washington's a freshman, but yeah.
That's arguably him and Wheeler. Obviously, they're two best guards. But, yeah, Sheboy and Wheeler both out. I mean, I don't know. I think it's very frustrating that how much better that roster is. It's very frustrating, especially when you look at the front court.
Yeah, and
Tennessee's front
it
court
changes about every year. And Tennessee has kind of their core that's been there, with James and Fulgerson and Santi and Kumar. They've been in this program for a while. So for them to just get manhandled like that, and to be getting manhandled, like LSU manhandled them, Alabama didn't, but they did in the last 2 minutes when it counted.
Right.
Yeah, this team's just frustrating to watch. It really is.
You mentioned Josiah Jordan James. I mean, he's another good game from him, but obviously he's not. We said it. He's not going to be your guy. Like he's not. He's got to be consistent. He's in terms of putting numbers in each category, but he's not going to be your guy that wins games for you. So you need it from other guys.
Yeah, I don't think they have a guy on this team that can go out and win you a basketball game. I think it's a team effort, and they're just too inconsistent to win you a big basketball game.
Yeah. Credit to Vescovy. It looks like he wants to be that guy. I mean, he's played aggressive. He's played consistent, but he's just not – he's not a super talented guy. He's not like – it's kind of like Josiah Jordan James. Like he's just not going to be that guy.
Yeah, he's just – like he's athletic, but he's not an incredible athlete that can defend. Like he has trouble defending a little bit. Now, I think he's gotten better over his past couple of years, but, a guy like Ty Washington, who's going to be an NBA player, can blow right by those guys.
Yep. Oh, fun. It was a miserable affair yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't make me sweat it. Like the second half, you're like, oh, well.
Who bet the over? That's all I want to know.
Good God. I mean,
Who did it?
I would have lost that. I would have bet the under.
Would
before
you?
the game started?
I
mean,
I guess it
I'm
depends on where
I'm
it's
not
at.
betting on Tennessee to score that much.
Fair. I guess it depends on what it was at. I know we looked at it. I can't remember what it was at though. But yeah, it definitely depends on that.
Yep.
I wanted so badly not to watch. I turned the second half off for a minute, and I was like, I mean, I just got to watch till the end of the game though. So I put myself through it.
I get it.
I did it. Let's move on and move past it. You get Vanderbilt on Tuesday night.
So you think Brandon Huntley Hatfield should play more? Correct?
He's got to play.
We're
more.
on agreement.
He's got to play more. He has to. I mean, it's gonna be frustrating though because your bigs are probably gonna play good against.
Well, yeah, they play good against
Vanderbilt.
teams that they should.
Right.
But a bigger team that can really cause issues for you. Yeah, they just seem to lay down, especially Kumar. I mean, he against freaking ETSU and Tennessee Tech. I mean, he's gonna light it up. It's just frustrating. I'm mad. I shouldn't be that way, but I am a little upset on this team this season.
I'm frustrated. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe my hopes aren't as high as others, but I'm sad. I'm sad more than anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want to see Kentucky again. That's how sad I am.
I mean, like right before SEC play, you beat Arizona at home, and you're feeling good. They're one of the best teams in the country, and then you just have laid an egg. I mean, you haven't played great in any SEC game.
Yep.
Maybe if you count South Carolina, but we didn't light it up. They just are terrible, and they couldn't score on our defense.
This team doesn't look good, and it's really depressing. We talked about the Rick Barnes stuff. I'm not saying fire him, but it's like it's the problem. It's so frustrating because most of your problems come from the front court, and it's like you had Grant and Admiral who were kind of just like they were just a different breed of their own. Like it's like not that like Rick Barnes and his staff didn't do a good job with them. I'm not saying that. Like obviously some of the credit's got to go to them, but it's obvious how special those two guys were. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to recreate that. So you're gonna have to go out and get more better talented guys.
Yeah, Tennessee's 21-19 in SEC play since Admiral and Grant left the program.
Love to hear it.
I mean, that's a middle of the road SEC team.
Yeah, it hurts.
Ugh. Hey, maybe we'll turn it around. We'll see. Let's try to end on a positive note, I guess.
We're always hoping. Well, we can talk about Vanderbilt, and even though they have the SEC preseason player of the year, I'm still pretty confident.
Quotes.
Yeah, I'm still pretty confident that this should be a game. I think the front court will probably play pretty good. Vanderbilt's front court isn't dangerous. I think this is a game that'll probably be pretty anticlimactic, and Tennessee will win, probably running away, honestly.
Yeah, they should. Hopefully they're able to continue that. I think the defense should be better in this game, and then hopefully your shooting kind of carries over from that Kentucky game, and you kind of run Vanderbilt out of the gym. I mean, they got Scottie Pippen Jr. Other than that, they don't really have a whole lot. Jordan Rod's their second best player. I think he averages around 12 points, 6 rebounds. I think he's only like 6'8", maybe 6'6". He's 6'6". Yeah, he's 6'6". So again, not opposing down, not superimposing down low for the Commodores. So they are 10-6. They have some ugly losses and they have some decent wins. They did beat BYU. They beat Arkansas, who beat LSU this past weekend. But they have lost to Temple, VCU. I think VCU is the game where they scored 37 points in the whole game. And then SMU, just some head scratching losses for old Vandy. Who's their coach? I keep wanting to say the coach's Stackhouse. I want to say Scottie Pippen, but that's that's not right. Yeah, some head scratching. Oh, they did lose to South Carolina too. So Tennessee beat them by 20. So yeah, this should be a win for Tennessee. Hopefully, it's able to get them some confidence back because I'm sure you lost a ton in Rupp Arena Saturday.
I've got to imagine that's a pretty deflating to walk out of that one. It's deflating to not even be there, just to experience it as a Tennessee fan. So,
and this should be a game where you can, give some guys some experience. I thought against South Carolina, we didn't play Brandon Hundley Hatfield, Justin Powell, even Meshack, Debunji. We didn't play those guys as much as I'd like to see.
Right.
So maybe this is a game you can kind of experiment a little bit to see what you have because you got to figure something out.
Right. And I know Brandon Hundley Hatfield came in, at that blowout moment against Kentucky, but I mean, came in and played quality minutes for the time he was in. And that, I think now that's another reason I'm like, you're at the point. Let's start giving him more significant minutes. I'm not saying give them all to him. He hadn't earned that. It doesn't seem, but he's earned some looks, I think.
Yeah, and if it's a practice issue, you also got to realize like this kid's supposed to still be in high school. So I'm sure that maturity is probably not exactly where you want it, but that's on your job to develop. That's on you to develop him into a player that can help you.
Right. Agreed. I want to see more of him for sure. And it's insignificant in those significant minutes. He's not a guy I don't think you should be waiting around for a blowout to throw in there.
Because I think he might not be where, he might make some mistakes and stuff like that, but he's definitely talent-wise, he's got more talent than any of your bigs.
Right.
When you're talking about upside and what he can develop, like supposedly he should be an NBA player, when the time comes, whether that's next year or the year after that, he's projected to be an NBA player. So it's time to see what he's made of, get him out there. And it's not maybe so much as him as like you're just lacking what you have right now. So let's try to get somebody else ready.
Yeah, I mean, that's all that needs to be said about Brandon Hundley Hatfield. It's time.
I thought it was good to see Kenny Chandler kind of get back to scoring the basketball. Yeah, really good. He made some shots that I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of times that you kind of saw what he can be kind of mano-a-mano against those other good guards in the league. And obviously, like we talked about in the Kentucky recap, like it's going to take a whole team, not just Kennedy, but it was good. Like you said, good to see him kind of get back into the swing of it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into. So, do you have a score prediction for Vanderbilt? Tennessee wins.
I don't have a score prediction, and I'm really nervous to give one after that Kentucky one. Like I said, it was very hopeful.
I mean, no one got that Kentucky game right. So.
I will say I think Tennessee's on the winning end by double digits. I don't know if it's a 20-point victory, but I think it's a double-digit victory for sure. And I think Scottie Pippen doesn't reach his average.
Yeah, I'd like to see Zakai
Ziegler Jr.
And Kenny Chandler kind of stay on him and make him uncomfortable a little bit. I know he didn't shoot well the other night against Georgia. I think he was 3 for 12, but still had like 12 points. So yeah, just keep him uncomfortable, and I think you should win this pretty handily. Even if he scores 25, I think you should still win this game. But I'd like to not see somebody get theirs, especially Vanderbilt.
Agreed. That is. So, do you have a score prediction?
I'll go 72-60.
All right. I like it. Hopefully they don't score 60.
Yeah.
With
I like them to score 30.
Pippen Jr. being
36.
Pippen Jr. That'd be nice. I'll ride with that. That's Tuesday night, and then we will be back Thursday for preview of LSU. But that's we talked about bringing in people. Hopefully, Thompson Boyne Arena is effective in bringing LSU there Saturday.
Yeah.
Something motivate this team, please.
Yeah, maybe we need to bring in, what was that?
Taco.
No, not the taco.
We won a lot of games with the taco.
Jackson State, Dion brought that freaking Instagram model.
Oh, I think we need to bring in the taco.
Okay.
I think he tweeted out. What
about Grant Admiral? Can we bring
if we could bring him back, that'd be better. But
I mean, not back like in uniform, but can they get somebody fired up?
I think that's the taco's job, Landon.
Oh God!
I think he. I'm not
be honest. The taco was the most annoying person in the
world. Oh, I don't disagree. I think he tweeted out his record though at one point. You know, because everybody hated on him, and he responded to all of them.
Oh God!
Still haven't found it. I don't know if I'm able to though.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of the taco.
I wasn't either, but you can't argue with his record. All right.
I hate that he made like an account for the taco.
Change his name. That's why I'm having trouble getting to it. I will do the research though. No doubt about it.
Recruiting.
Let's talk.
Big hire.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's what apparently all the sources are saying.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely like to hear when, the team that a guy you hire away, you like to hear them kind of moan and groan about, oh, this sucks that we lost this guy. And that's exactly what we saw last night with Billy High. Was the general manager and assistant AD at North Carolina for the past 3 seasons. Did a really good job there. Kind of oversaw basically everything recruiting from transfer portal to on campus, things like that. Somebody even said that he was, oh God, what's their coach's name? Mac Brown's right-hand man. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. And I do know that they did, since he's been there, they did do a fantastic job in recruiting. 2020, which was his first full class, they had the number 14 class. They also had the number 14 class in 2021. And then this past season, the 2022 class, they were up to number 8. And that was the highest North Carolina has ever had since recruiting became ranked, I guess. And then 2021, they had Ty Chandler, who ended up being a 1,000-yard rusher for them. And turned out to be pretty good transfer for them. Was at Auburn, so worked with Rodney Gardner a little bit. I think he was there from 2017 to 2019. They had the number 12 class in 2018, number 11 class. And that class had Owen Papo, Bo Nix, a lot of those guys in there that I'm sure he had a hand in bringing there, or at least scouting them, evaluating. And then that number 14 class, that 14 class had Javari Ritzy, Drake May, Rara Dilworth, a lot of those guys that UNC beat out Tennessee for. So I think this is big. A Knoxville guy graduated from Tennessee. His brother is the offensive scouting coordinator. He was at UCF with Josh Heupel, and Josh Heupel hired him on here as well. And that's Charlie High, if that name sounds familiar. Mm-hmm. He owns a ton of passing records in the state of Tennessee for high school football. So, I think this is a big hire.
By the way,
wait, what? I don't know.
Does it still stand?
I don't know.
Because I just feel like
passing, they were kind of the spread offense before everybody had a spread offense. So or air. I guess they're more of an air raid. They threw it every play.
I don't know if I ever watched them play, so I honestly don't know what style exactly it is. But yeah, definitely stat-wise felt more like the air raid.
I think this is a big hopefully it shows in recruiting. Hopefully it shows soon because we'd like to see some more names pop up in the transfer portal to get not away from Tennessee to Tennessee. But you did have. Do you have anything to add for Billy High?
Not really. I mean,
kinda...
other than it seems like I mean, for the reasons you listed off, seems like a good hire. I'm sure it had something to do with brother being on staff, Knoxville native, as far as getting him here. But I mean, the few things that have been out there about him, I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know how how crucial that role is. Because I mean, recruiting's obviously mostly on the staff. But I mean, obviously having a guy that's experienced and then been successful in it would be more important than just either someone new to the position or whatever it may be. So yeah, I mean just looking at it in that sense, yeah, obviously it seems like a good hire. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I know Austin Thomas was, kind of that general manager role, and we were looking to get him, I think, when Jeremy Pruitt was here, if that name sounds familiar. But he's kind of been like a huge hand in recruiting for LSU. And that's, I guess, what this hope is, that Billy High can be that for Tennessee.
Right.
And he looks to have done a great job everywhere he's been. He was an intern under Lane Kiffin at Tennessee in 2009. So knows the landscape and, knows Knoxville well. So I'm sure that helps in recruiting. I mean, I guess for now, Tennessee can use all the help they can get. So
exactly.
So
Charlie Howe holds most touchdown passes in a career right now.
Okay.
He has 131 in his career.
So I don't think they haven't named what Billy High is actually going to do, but I would have guessed it'd be that general manager role, overseeing recruiting and stuff like that. So,
just because I'm curious, I went and looked this up. He also has most completions in a season. He is first and second in that category. That's pretty impressive.
That is nuts.
Let's see. He did have the most passing attempts both those years too. Has the record for most attempts. And he holds number 1 and number 2 in passing yards in a season as well.
Interesting.
So, yeah, there you go.
Cool.
And Billy Howe was on staff for those too, by the way.
Yeah, he was at CAK for 4 years, I think.
I believe
after he graduated, that's kind of how he got his start, and then graduated from graduated from Tennessee, and then was an intern to 2009. But yeah, we'll see. Let's get to the portal.
The portal.
So Tennessee did lose 2 players, not big impact players at all, but definitely don't want to see, freshmen leave the program or anybody leave the program, I guess, but definitely people who, really didn't give it a chance.
That
was tight end Trinity Bell, was a 3-star athlete. Just didn't really have a position. And same for wide receiver Cayman Marley. He was a 4-star. Neither really had like a true position. They kind of were tweeners on what they could play. So, and that's just the thing to do when you don't play your freshman year. It seems like you jump in the portal. Whether that pays off for them or not, I guess we'll see. But yeah, just didn't. They were part of Jeremy Pruitt's class that they were committed to Jeremy Pruitt. I guess that was after signing day, so they already signed and everything. Yeah, so they landed in the portal. Again, not a huge deal. Maybe opens up some scholarships, I guess. But Trinity Bell, I mean, he was a tight end. There was 2 freshman tight ends in front of him, and Miles Campbell and Julian Nixon. So then Cayman Marley, we bring in Isaiah Nayer, who has 3 years of eligibility left. We have, Jimmy Callaway, Jimmy Holiday, Ramel Keaton, Cedric. I mean, he was just buried in that depth chart. So didn't really see him getting an impact, especially at the receiver position.
Yeah, and I think it's unfortunate to have I think you're going to see transfers like that every year in every program.
Mhm.
It just really sucks for Tennessee, just that roster being so depleted to have any transfers. But I think this is just what everyone should expect from every program from here on out.
Yep. Just the way of the world now. But also Isaiah Nayer, I mentioned him, committed to Tennessee. He was on his official visit to Tennessee this weekend. Also visited Ole Miss recently, but he did tell Austin Price today that Vol fans should not worry. So,
who told Austin Price that? Sorry,
Isaiah Nayer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he did finally get to visit Tennessee's campus. Seems like everything went well. So, yeah, maybe not worry until we do worry. I think so. Ole Miss loses Matt Corral. I mean, Tennessee is returning Hendon Hooker. I think that should be an easy decision.
Yeah,
in my opinion. I mean, he does have 3 years of eligibility, but if you're thinking about next year more than you are 2 years, and there's just a question mark at Ole Miss right now. Who is going to be their quarterback? Is it going to be Luke Altmaier? Are they going to bring somebody in? I don't know.
What about Plumlee transferring to UCF to play quarterback?
Oh, really? I didn't know he was playing quarterback.
I assume the way he talked about having weapons around him.
Okay.
So the context of it seemed like it was going to be.
I was shocked that Plumlee didn't get the go when Matt Corral got hurt in the bowl game.
That was weird to me too.
I mean, even in the Tennessee game, Luke Altmaier came in. I thought Plumlee would be the.
Yeah, I thought they mentioned him practicing there, but I mean, I guess that's part of it is he just hasn't practiced.
Yeah.
Hadn't done anything at quarterback this year.
But I mean, he played some receiver, but it wasn't enough to be like, oh yeah, you're never playing quarterback again.
Right.
So yeah, that's just weird, but.
I thought it was interesting because and the funny story kind of about that is he committed to Ole Miss over Auburn because when Malzahn was at Auburn, they recruited him to play wide receiver. Yeah. So.
Whatever.
My phone, of course. Yeah, that's interesting transfer stuff. So.
It's all interesting. Did you see Jackson Dart on his visit to Ole Miss and the cars parked horizontally in the middle of the road, and him and Lane Kiffin are just standing with their hoods on in front of the car?
No, I didn't see that. I love it though.
What weird.
It's awesome.
I mean, what if somebody just comes around that corner just flying? Just that car is just like this in the middle of the road.
That would be an awesome recruiting story. We need a good Lane Kiffin recruiting story. We haven't had any since he's been at Ole Miss. So we desperately need one.
I think it's just the lack of the media in Ole Miss. They're just not great at their job.
Didn't something happen with an Ole Miss? Oh, he lied about talking to a player. I was like, something happened with an Ole Miss media member recently. I just couldn't remember what it was. That was it. So,
I'm sure there'll be more that will come out of that. Can't wait to hear them.
I'll pray.
Another name that's kind of emerged in the portal is USC wide receiver Brew McCoy. That name sounds familiar. He was kind of wishy-washy on his recruitment out of high school. Was at Texas. I think committed to USC and then went to Texas and then went back to USC. Entered the transfer portal, went back to USC. Now he's back in the transfer portal. Somebody did tweet Brew McCoy has been in the transfer portal more than he's been on a campus.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
But he did have 21 receptions, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns this past season at USC. He is friends with Velus Jones, and just having that familiarity. He's familiar with those guys. How about that?
There you go.
He knows defensive scouting coordinator Trey Johnson, who was at USC before he came to Tennessee, And then just like the transfers that Tennessee's gotten from there, Caleb Tremblay, Bayless, Chase McGrath. It seems to work out well for them. So I'm sure they've at least evaluated, maybe talked to, see what they can get. But yeah, that's kind of a name that kind of crossing the T's and dotting the I's a little bit.
I like it. I think we talked about it last show. I don't think it's the time to be selective.
No. And I'm with you. I know that we've kind of talked to or at least evaluated some DBs, Amir Speed from Georgia, Dwight McLaughlin from LSU, and then Canny Walker from Louisville, and Latrell McCutcheon from Oklahoma. So, I don't know if anything's come about, but I'm sure they'd like to get some of those guys on campus because I think that is a huge need is defensive back, especially when you watch that Music City Bowl.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. Any other portal news, or are we ready to get some? We have any questions? I haven't seen any drop in the chat. I have not been on Twitter, though, full disclosure.
I heard a rumor that
Okay.
now Jalen Hyatt is looking at the portal again. So, I don't know if that is anything, but that is a rumor. I hope not, because I think he could really have a fantastic season next year in the slot. He just needs, time in the weight room. I don't know. I mean, nothing from him has indicated that. So that's just something that I heard earlier today.
Okay. Yeah, I knew he'd been linked to it before, but then his dad said he wasn't on Twitter, so who knows?
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think you have to do it by like January, like toward the end of January, or you can't go to like an SEC school.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like there's a cutoff date that if you're at a SEC school to transfer to another SEC program, you have to do it by a certain time. So,
okay. So I guess you can't get any spring transfers then in the SEC?
Maybe that's to be there in like this, like be on campus this semester, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I'm not really sure how that works.
Right. Okay. Any other transfer portal news? Anybody else we need to look out for?
That's all I got. Ochuan Mathis, we mentioned him last show. The defensive lineman edge from TCU is a guy that Tennessee's spoken to, but Gary Patterson is at Texas, so that connection's been there. He's been linked to Texas.
Right.
Again, not far away from where he's currently at, so.
Good deal. All righty. Do we have any questions?
I don't think
come in. No questions come in. All right. Most important of the week. Can we jump to fail? Because I didn't write it down, and we just need to evaluate the Cowboys' last play. I know we talked about it before we got on here, but holy crap. Whew.
Yeah, not great. Somebody had on my timeline today that Dak Prescott was the best quarterback in the NFL.
No.
No. I'll say that one thing. That game tonight did not help his case at all.
No. That 4th and 11 that he almost converted was incredible. He might have changed my mind. I had said on the phone, like while watching that game, I was like, yeah, he's not in the top 10. And then he almost convinced me. That 4th and 11 almost flipped my switch. Almost got me.
I have a debate. Who's better, Dak Prescott or Joe Burrow?
Right now, as it stands, better is a weird word. Who would I take? I'd take Joe Burrow right now as my quarterback. I think I'd put Joe Burrow in front of him as better too.
Okay.
I think. But I definitely would take Joe Burrow. Like definitely. As my future franchise quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably say that too, but I think they are kind of very similar.
Yeah, as far as what they've shown.
Yeah,
I'd agree. Most important.
How about the Lady Vols putting it on
Rolling.
Kentucky?
Yep. Someone needed to.
And the We Back Pat stuff is going on right now, so there's always. I know Kentucky had somebody that they're honoring who just like passed away, and so like somebody even said before the game, this game's over. Kentucky's winning it.
Oh, okay.
And maybe it was the exact same thing for Tennessee today. It's just like We Back Pat, the purple's on. We're blowing out Kentucky. Kelly Harper's had a heck of a season.
Yeah, I think we said this a couple episodes ago. Like I'm 100% in on Kelly Harper.
Yep, 17-1, number 5 in the country. They beat Kentucky today by close to 30.
28, 26.
Yeah, something like that.
Also, the purple's a nice accent, by the way.
It looks good.
I'm a fan. Nothing beats a baby blue, but we like the purple. My first most important. Did you see who got the Bengals game ball? This is awesome. So the first one Zach Taylor gave to like the owners, I think, or something. But the second one, he was like, "All right, boys." He's like, the second game ball. He goes, "This one goes to the city of Cincinnati. Tonight we're taking game balls out to bars and we're passing them out to the fans." I was like, "That's football guy."
Heck yeah.
Winner. City of Cincinnati, we're putting them in the bars. I love it.
My most important is, I guess that's kind of all I got was just, and then the Bills absolutely putting it on the Patriots.
That was fun. That was fun to watch. I kind of want people to be wrong about Mac Jones, the ones that have said, because I think he is good, but that was fun to watch.
And they had a perfect game offensively. No punts, no field goals. Wow. They scored on every possession except for the kneel downs at the end.
Was that actually Ryan Fitzpatrick at the game? I saw someone post that.
I think it was.
Him? Okay, that's awesome. Shirtless. It was 7 degrees in Buffalo.
Oh, gross.
Not a fan of that temperature?
No, I would not do well in Buffalo.
Love it.
So the fact that like you're able to have such good seasons in Buffalo, like I applaud those players a little extra because that sounds miserable.
Yeah,
I mean, in Tennessee, I was hoping like I didn't really want to play in playoff games because it was so cold. I hate the cold.
I like it. I wouldn't prefer playing sports in it, but I like the cold. It's obviously not as much fun to hit people or anything when.
No. Definitely not. That's kind of all I got for most important.
All right. Fail. I gave out my my one on Dak and the Cowboys. And that ref. That was hilarious. I mean, it's not really the ref's fault. Like, he has to get through, but it was hilarious.
I mean, he had to knock over Dak and the center to get there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Also, I feel like, dude, you got to hurry up.
Yeah. Well, he was right. I mean, he was right there. Like, I don't know if he could have done better, but
those offensive linemen are beating you to the ball. You got to get there.
Yeah, it was kind of a cluster for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks that the game had to end like that, but it's part of it.
Better to happen to the Cowboys.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure Skip Bayless is going on and on about that, how that play.
Maybe we'll get to see him throw.
It wasn't everything else that happened in the game, but that was the reason they lost.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see his dick level microwave in a video this week.
I can't. I want to see First Take and see Stephen A. just roast the Cowboys tomorrow. I never watch First Take unless it's like something like that.
It'd be more enjoyable.
Shannon Sharp is definitely going to light Skip up on. Is it Undisputed?
I get, yeah. Foxes. It'd be more fun if Stephen A. wasn't so insufferable.
Right.
It'd be more fun to hear him get to rag on him. My last fail goes out to Barstool or Older 01, Barstool, Tennessee. This terrible graphic they made.
What is that?
I don't know, Landon. You can't even really. I'll have to send it to you. Everyone go look on their Instagram if you want. I'll give them free space. But it's the mouth that's so bad.
He looks like he blew it in the goal.
It's not.
Also, why is he cross-eyed?
Yeah, he's cross-eyed, bucktooth. It's not a great.
Oh, dude, I gotta go.
It's not a great look.
Comment on that
at all.
That is crap.
Oh, they've gotten a lot of crap for it. It was funny.
Yuck.
It was funny. You have more fails?
Mine is Bruce Arians. Did you see him freaking slug a player in the helmet?
No.
So apparently there was kind of like a scrum for a ball and got up like shoving and stuff. Well, Bruce Arians just comes off the sideline and slugs one of his players in the helmet.
Seems not wise.
I'll send you the video. He got a hit on him.
Good Lord.
It was
probably hadn't heard more
Jason
about that.
Brown.
I just watched a video of him. Like a compilation of some of his outbreaks.
Oh, yeah.
That man is a slap dick.
So he was trying to make him not cause a penalty.
That's smart then. Yeah, I agree. I'm with it.
He almost fell into him because he kind of like slid off his helmet. I'm going to send this to you real quick. That's all I got for fails.
That's it for me too. We've kept it under an hour. That might be the first time we've ever kept it under an hour. That's pretty impressive.
It helps that.
And we were sad.
Yeah. Tennessee baseball, 33 days away, baby.
Getting there. As of right now, we don't have a porch though, so that hurts. We'll find a way. We'll sneak in if we need to.
Yeah.
We'll still. If you're listening to this and you have a porch, we will steal your porch.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
know that.
Also, if there's any businesses out there that have a porch that know they're not going to use it every game, because I know they're not,
we will buy it from you.
hit me up.
Or you can give it to us. Actually, you can give it to us.
Also, I do have a parking pass, so we can also tailgate too.
Let's just tailgate the games. I don't even need a porch. We'll do our own watch party outside the stadium.
Yep. We'll let you know if we have some. I'm sure we will have some tailgates, but probably for the bigger SEC games on the weekends. So stay on the lookout for that. I just miss tailgating.
I'll tailgate a game. I'm in.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
All right, guys.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for listening. Hope y'all have a good week. Stay safe. It's snowing, which is weird. I took a little nap today, and I woke up and there was snow all over the ground. I was like, "What in the world happened?" But yeah, y'all stay safe, and we will catch you back on Thursday. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.